Yo, YouTube, what's up with your boy? Sports and Fitness Rants. I'm back, guys. Click that like button. Subscribe to my channel. What's up, y'all? Welcome back, guys. Welcome back, man. Got another great video for you guys today. As usual, you guys know the deal on this channel. It's all about setting the record straight, stopping the lies, stopping the narratives, stopping them from rewriting history, guys. And in this video, we're going to talk about how LeBron James continues to tear down his legacy and how his legacy continues to take a hit. It continues, guys, to take a hit. His legacy over the last several seasons, man. And I've told you guys, to me, LeBron James should have retired a long time ago. Now, I know a lot of us really want him to retire. A lot of you guys out there tell me all the time, I can't wait for this guy to hang it up, man. He needs to retire. You don't want to root for the Lakers anymore. You can't watch the NBA because this guy's ruined it. And I'm right there with you guys, man. And this dude's legacy has taken a hit over the last several seasons, and we're going to talk about what I mean in this video, and we're really going to talk about what really a legacy really is. I'm going to give you guys an example, to help you guys really to illustrate, understand what legacy means and the impact that it can have, all right? And I want to thank you guys, everyone across the world, everyone across the states has been supporting my channel. Once again, guys, I am truly, truly humbled, man. Much respect to all you guys out there that continue to come through, support the channel. Like I said, you guys leave the comments, man. You guys send me emails and the messages. It means a lot, guys. It really does. So thank you to all you guys out there that continue to hit me up, man. And much respect to all true fans. Shout out to everybody in the membership, man. Everyone that comes to the live streams. I think me and AOH are going to try to live stream the Lakers game tonight, guys. It comes on at 10 Eastern time, which is really late for me. Usually I go to bed at 10. But I'm going to try to stay up. Me, AOH, I think Speed My Jones, we're going to try to live stream the game. And we're going to try to do that, man. So maybe we'll see you guys tonight, the live stream. And you guys know what to do. Turn the volume all the way up. Hit that play button. Remember, these videos are for educational purposes. And let's roll. So, yes, guys, like I said, man, I wanted to talk about how LeBron James' legacy has taken a major hit since he's been in LA. And like I said, guys, I did a video on this, and I've mentioned this several times. To me, LeBron James should have retired after the 2017 season. I told you guys, the Cleveland Cavaliers won the championship in 2016. So I think that LeBron James and the Cavs should have ran it back in 2017, right? Try to come back and defend your title. And after they lost in the finals, 4-1, that should have been it for LeBron James, man. Right? That should have been it for him, man. He was 3-6 in the finals. Like I said, you tried to do something with your super team. After that, to me, he should have hung it up. Like I said, Kevin Durant one-upped him, right? Formed his own super team. And that should have been it. To me, LeBron James has done nothing to further his career, to enhance his legacy since he's been in LA. To me, his career has gone completely downhill. And over the last 5 years, I want to say, it's been a cliff that has fallen off of. A straight cliff, guys. And I think most true, real basketball fans, if they're being honest, agree with this assessment. LeBron James has done nothing to further his career and his legacy in LA. That 2020 championship, no one respects that championship to a degree where it enhances the career or legacy. It does not. Breaking Kareem's scoring record, did that enhance his legacy? No, it did not enhance his legacy. It really only enhanced it in the eyes of the LeBron James fans. Because the real true basketball fans do not believe that LeBron James breaking Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's scoring mark made him the greatest of all time or enhanced his argument, right, for the greatest of all time. It doesn't matter. It means literally nothing in the debate. Because when we talk about LeBron James and his scoring, the rebounds, the assists, this is stat padding. This is LeBron James stat chasing. That's all he's playing for, not necessarily the wins. When you look at someone like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he played to win. He was a winner, right? Look at his finals record. Look at just his overall record, winning games, leading teams. So I'm not going to be, all crazy and go nuts celebrating LeBron James and this fake, record that he got, or enhance him, like it enhanced his career or legacy to a degree when it didn't. So now all you'll hear is LeBron James fans say 40,000 points. LeBron James scored 40,000 points. Yes, and he's taken the most shots to score those points. But yet he hasn't made the most shots yet. He's missed the most shots to score those 40,000 points. He's chucked up a bunch of three-point shots to chase those points. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar wasn't chucking up all those threes. That's LeBron James, just a shot-chucking dude, man. When he knows he can't shoot from the free throw line, you'll shoot all those threes. The man's taking more three-pointers than Reggie Miller, guys. That's insane when you say that. Doesn't make any sense. So I'm not impressed with LeBron James and the stats that he's put up out there, stat chasing, never sacrificing, right? Never helping his teammates, never allowing his teammates to shine, never sacrificing those stats to win because he wasn't out there chasing wins. He wasn't out there trying to play and be a true competitor like that. So once again, no one's impressed with what LeBron James has done since he's been in LA. So like I've said, LeBron James' legacy has taken a serious hit since he's been in LA, guys. People think he's actually enhancing his career. I love when you hear LeBron James fans say, oh, he can't do anything to take away from his career, his legacy. His legacy is already cemented in stone. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. That does not make any sense. People do not understand what a legacy is then. Your legacy is not set. Like, once you die, then your legacy is set. You can't tell me that your legacy is set when you're still alive living, when you can still, once again, add to it and take away from it. Because like we've said, if LeBron James can still add to his legacy, then he can damn sure take away from his legacy. And you all know, if LeBron James were to win his 5th championship, like they kept telling me he was, man, I don't know how many comments I got during this season, guys. Oh, you're just a hater. You're just mad because LeBron James is about to win his 5th ring. You know how many comments I got like that? Oh, you're just mad LeBron's about to win his 5th ring. Ah, hater, LeBron's going to win his 5th ring. 5th ring incoming. What you going to say when LeBron James... This is what you hear throughout the entire regular season. I haven't heard those people at once. I haven't heard them in a long time, those people. Where are you guys at? Is LeBron James still winning his 5th ring? They really believed that LeBron James was going to win his 5th championship and that he was going to be the reason why the Lakers won. These delusional LeBron James fans. Remember, LeBron James is not leading a team anywhere. LeBron James is not going to be the reason a team wins a championship. He's going to be a role player. If the Lakers were to win a championship, like I said, this year, LeBron James would be playing a role. He would either be playing the sidekick to Anthony Davis or he's going to be playing the sidekick to Luka Doncic. That's the bottom line. He ain't leading the team to a damn championship. Them days is long gone. That's why I said LeBron James should have retired years ago. Even that 2020 championship, he did not lead the Lakers there. That was Anthony Davis. Anyone that wants to be honest, any real basketball fan knows Anthony Davis led those Lakers to that championship, man. Without Anthony Davis in LA, LeBron James accomplishes nothing in LA, guys. Literally nothing. Nothing. All he would have is what we've seen from LeBron James. All he'd have is the flopping, the load managing, right? The blaming of the teammates, right? The blaming of the coaches, the excuses, no accountability, getting fans ejected. This is what you get from LeBron James, right? Walking off the court early, still airballing free throws, never working on your overall game, still choking it up at the end of games, right? Still turning the ball over at a high level, still can't dribble. So what has LeBron James done to enhance his career, to enhance his legacy, to enhance his overall game? His overall game has declined. It's evaporated, right? When I tell you guys that LeBron James was making progress in Miami, to me, he was. You can see it in the game. He tried to sacrifice a little bit in Miami to play in a system, right? He tried to work on his jump shot. You can see him shooting more mid-range shots in Miami, taking more jump shots in Miami, shooting it with more confidence, the free throw line, all of these things LeBron James was trying to do, it looked like, right? The Miami Heat, right? The organization, right? The winning culture that they had there was helping LeBron James. He was being enhanced and helped by that winning culture. It was rubbing off on him. Not to mention he was playing on a stacked super team. We get that. But the Miami Heat organization was actually helping LeBron James. They forced him to practice, to play defense, to work on his overall game, to be a leader, to sacrifice, right? Guys like Pat Riley, Eric Spoelstra, the Dwayne Wades, these were leaders. Right? These were the people as leaders because LeBron James did not know how to lead, didn't know what it took to lead, how to win. And ever since LeBron James left Miami, his career, his game has gone downhill. There's no one that can sit there and tell me that LeBron James has gotten better since he left Miami. He has not gotten better. The NBA has gotten softer and weaker over the years. And LeBron James has been allowed to manipulate the rules, to bend the rules, to break the rules, traveling all over the place, carrying the ball. I mean, just blatant carries. Use his off arm and just push guys. Use his physicality in an era where guys are not allowed to use physicality on defense, which gives LeBron James an extreme advantage. So to me, LeBron James hasn't gotten greater. The NBA has gotten weaker, which has helped him look like he's been playing at a high level for a long time. His fraudulent longevity. But when we talk about the legacy that LeBron James is going to be leaving behind, it's taken a major hit, guys, over the last 5 years. A major hit, LeBron James' legacy. That's why you have a lot of the true basketball fans out here opening the eyes. I mean, we've opened the eyes of a lot of people out there. And you guys have told me that I've opened your eyes. Other people out there, you guys have listened to guys like Too Raw. You've listened to Dreamers Pro. You've listened to Uncut Hoops or Angry Old Hoops. You've listened to Jordan vs. Braun or Brandon Loves Sports TV, or you've listened to Ticket TV or Kwame Brown. You've listened to some of these guys and what they had to say. Maybe you listened and watched the Will Chamberlain archive. Right? Maybe you listen to some of these channels and you actually were educated. You learned from some of these guys. My man Jim over of Self-Research NBA Facts. Right? Hoop God. Maybe you listen to some of these guys and what they had to say. Michael Jordan fans are the best. Shout out to my man Dart. Right? Maybe you listen to some of these channels. Maybe back in the day you were listening to Chronicles of Judah. Once again, shout out to Chronicles of Judah. You guys know that I shout him out all the time. I was really a fan of his channel. Like I said, some years back when I first came on YouTube and I was watching videos, and he was one of the first channels. I always tell you guys that I gravitated towards him. Too Raw, Angry Raw Hoops, Dreamers Pro, Ticket. These were like the first guys that I saw. And I know that my channel itself has helped a lot of you guys understand the game and understand that these guys are trying to rewrite history here. You guys understand this. There's a legacy we're talking about. Think about Michael Jordan, the sneakers of Michael Jordan, right? That's on his legacy. This is the legacy that Michael Jordan left. As I tell you guys, they can't tear his legacy down through lies and narratives in the media, because the media did not build up his legacy through lies and narratives the same way they built up LeBron James. That's why it's easy for us to expose LeBron James, because his career, the legacy that they're trying to create, is false. It's narratives and lies. So it can't stand up to scrutiny. That's why the more you dig into Michael Jordan, the greater he becomes. And the more you dig into LeBron James, the more he's exposed, right? It's the complete opposite of Michael Jordan. You know, and I told you guys about legacy, and sometimes I don't think people understand what a legacy is and how impactful a legacy can be, you know, for someone like an athlete, right? So I've given you guys, you know, a simple example of this, right? Because, you know, a legacy could be very big or very small, right? Depending on what we're talking about. So I told you it could be something as small as the example that I gave you when I was in high school. And I told you I'm the oldest of 4 boys, right? So I'm going through high school first, right? I'm going through these years. I'm going through the classes, freshman, sophomore, junior, until I become a senior, right? So when I became a senior, my next brother in line was a freshman. All right, and so forth and so on. When my next brother became a senior, then my other brother was a freshman. We were 3 years apart. And then my youngest brother he's kind of further back behind us. All right, but that's pretty much how it was. So when I was a senior, my brother was a freshman. So what did I tell you guys? Like I said, this is a very basic, simple example, very easy example, nothing crazy. And that's why I told you it could be a big thing or a little thing. But I left a legacy for my brothers to follow. And how did I do that? By carrying myself a certain way, right? Like I said, you earn a reputation, which helps you establish or leave a legacy, right? So you earn a reputation, you leave a legacy. So during my years in high school, before my brother was even there, before anyone else came to that school, there was no other, person in my family that went to this high school. I was the first person in my family to go to this school. All right. So it wasn't like my father went to this school or my mother went to this school and, we all have the same last name and we're leaving the legacy, or I'm following in the footsteps of my father. That's not the case here. So I'm the first one with my name, right, with my family name to come to this school. Right? There's no other person in this school with my family name. I'm the only person, none of my cousins, uncles, none of these people, right? So now it's on me to leave or build a reputation, earn a reputation. And it's on me to leave a legacy with my last name, because I know that I have brothers coming behind me. So no matter what I do, either good or bad, it's going to affect my brothers. The legacy that I leave will affect them, guys. That's what a legacy does. It's what you leave behind, not only for your kids, but in this instance, for my brothers. So like I told you, my reputation and my legacy was such that I was a person who was known for being a very talkative kind of person. You guys see how loud I am. I'm very loud and energetic. I was like this my whole life, guys, right? So I was known for a guy in the class to talk out of turn and, to disrupt the class by talking a lot and making jokes. That was my personality. Like I said, you see I'm loud and I can talk a lot and I have the gift of gab, so to speak. So that was my one vice as it pertains to school, right? I would talk a lot, but I wasn't a bully. I did not start fights with people. I did not pick on kids. I wasn't a knucklehead. I didn't cut class because I couldn't cut class. Anyone that plays sports in school, for my school anyways, if I would get in trouble school-wise cutting class, I would not be able to play. So for me, like I told you, I played all school year long. So in the beginning of school was football season, right? Then came basketball season. Then came baseball season. So if I wasn't doing the right things in school, going to class, like I said, not getting into trouble, things like that nature, then I would not be able to play in the games on the team, right? So these are the kinds of things. That was why my mother and my father, that was one of the reasons why we were in sports, to keep us out of trouble, to keep us, like I said, in shape, interacting, right? The social aspect, all these things, man, help your children with sports. But anyway, so this is what I established at the school. A kid who talked, had a lot of energy, that was very athletic, that played sports, right? That was a legacy that we left as athletes. Every one of my brothers, we all played football and basketball. My brothers did not play baseball like I did, but we all played football and basketball. Two of my brothers ran track. That was the legacy that I established and that they continued on as being athletes. So you didn't have one of my brothers come in and become a knucklehead or a fighter or a kid that was cutting class or, was smoking in the bathroom and, stuff like that, man. We had a legacy that I began, that I started, and my brothers continued that tradition, playing sports, right? Not cutting class and standing up to bullies. I told you, I hate bullies, man. And I've stood to bullies many, many times in my life. Because the funny thing was that my best friends in high school were the outcasts. That's where, what's funny. It was almost like a scenario from the movie Sandlot, when a lot of the kids used to wonder why, that one kid from the Sandlot, he was so much better than everyone else. And he was kind of like, why was he hanging out with these kids who seemed to be like, not as cool as him or as athletic as he was. That's how it was for me. A lot of my best friends weren't kids who were great athletes or played on the team or were popular. So I had to stand up for these kids a lot, man. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes people would, get on me and ask me why I was friends with these kids. Like, oh, yo, Robin, why are you hanging out with these kids, man? These guys are dorks. I would get to learn from people. And I told people that's not how I operate, man. But anyway, that was a legacy I left. You guys understand that, right? I left that for my brothers. If I would have left a legacy of a kid who cut class, who didn't play sports, that, had an attitude problem, that was always picking fights, a bully, one of these knuckleheads, then that would have left a bad taste in the mouth for the last name that I was living with in that high school, right? So now when they hear the last name again, my brother comes in, now all of a sudden, they have a bad taste in their mouth from me. So my legacy, what I left behind, is affecting my brother in a negative way now, when he never even did anything, because they're assuming that he's going to be like me, or they think he's like me. So it's not good, right? That's not good. Now, I'm going to give you guys another example here of legacy. And this is what I was telling you guys about how LeBron James didn't leave a legacy for his son. Like LeBron James Jr., he's not leaving a good legacy for his son. And he's used his son to prop himself up. And he sacrificed his son. That's why they were booing him when he was in college. That's why a lot of people get enjoyment out of watching him fail. It's not about LeBron James Jr. It's about his father and what he's done. The legacy and the reputation he earned of a dirtbag, a narcissist. Someone who does not love the game, but only loves himself, does not want to give back to the game. So I want you guys to think about this example of a legacy and this is an extreme level, guys, right? Like really an extreme part of what a legacy could do at the max, guys. The impact a legacy could have on not just your kids, a family, but an entire, world of people and how they view and feel about you. So you guys know there's a show, it was called Game of Thrones. You guys probably know the show Game of Thrones. It's a very popular show, Game of Thrones. I think it ended, 4 or 5 years ago, maybe 2019 or something like that. I could be wrong. But it ended, a couple years back. Anyway, really good show, right? Had about, 7 or 8 seasons. I believe maybe 8 seasons, I want to say it was. You guys know Game of Thrones. There's a character in Game of Thrones. His name is Ned Stark. Okay? Ned Stark. Now, I don't want to ruin the show for people if you haven't seen it, but there's going to be some spoilers here, guys. So just forgive me, man, if you haven't seen the show. If you want to watch it, I'm going to say something here. So if you want to stop it right now, then stop it. But I'm going to say some stuff about the Game of Thrones real quick, just so you guys can understand what I'm saying, to really hit home the legacy part here. So there's a character his name is Ned Stark, right? You're introduced to Ned Stark in the beginning of the show, the first season, the first episode. You were introduced to Ned Stark, right? He's the warden of the North, right? Basically the leader of the northern part, right? He's a very big character, Ned Stark. Except the funny thing about Ned Stark is that he's only in the first season, right? But Ned Stark is mentioned many, 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 many times throughout the season. Throughout the series, throughout the seasons. So remember, Ned Stark is only in the first season, right? You guys know what they do to Ned Stark at the end of season 1, right? But Ned Stark is so honorable. He earned a reputation of class, right? Respect, integrity. And he was such an honorable man that the legacy that he left was so impactful that people mention Ned Stark throughout the entire show. The entire show. So season 2, they mention Ned Stark. Season 3, they're mentioning Ned Stark. Season 4, they're mentioning Ned Stark. Season 5. The man was so honorable. He left and earned such a reputation, and a legacy was left so impactful that there were decisions made in the show based off of Ned Stark's honor. There's a scene there. Season 5, I believe it is. I could be wrong. I want to say it's season 5, where Stannis Baratheon is meeting Jon Snow for the first time in a while, right? He hadn't seen Jon Snow, right? Didn't really know him like that, but he knew of him. And he's like, listen, you know me, my lord. I know who you are. He goes, I'm Ned Stark's son. I'm Jon Snow. I'm Ned Stark's son. His bastard son, right? And Stannis Baratheon, who was supposed to be like the true king, who's trying to, get his throne at this point of the show, he says, your father was an honorable man. And there's a scene there, right? That same scene where they've captured the king beyond the wall. Once again, if you guys know the show, you guys know what I'm talking about. So they captured the king beyond the wall. His name was Mance Rayder, right? So he's captured there, and it's Jon Snow, Stannis Baratheon, and Mance Rayder. They're all there, and Stannis Baratheon is basically like, yo, I might kill this guy. I'm not going to keep him as a prisoner. So he asks Jon Snow, and he says, what do you think your father would do with him? He literally makes a decision of life and death based off of the honor of Ned Stark and the legacy that Ned Stark left behind. So impactful and so meaningful, right? That he's making decisions based off of Ned Stark. And the guy's been dead. And he's like, what do you think he would do with him? Because I respect him. He was an honorable man. And the legacy that he left behind is such that, what do you think he would do? Because if he would do XYZ, then maybe I'll do XYZ. That's how much respect they had for Ned Stark, a character who was only in the first season. Think about that, ladies and gentlemen. That was the legacy that Ned Stark left behind, because he carried himself with honor, integrity, and he earned the respect. There was also many times that they mentioned Ned Stark's honor, right? And they talk about how he was so honorable that they got him killed. That's how honorable he was. He basically sacrificed himself because of his honor. Think about that, guys. That's Ned Stark. Now, I know this is a fictional character in a show, but it still shows and highlights what legacy means and the impact it can have, not only on us, but your children, the people around you, people of the world. People that you have impacted on. You've affected them. You left a lasting memory on them. That's legacy. And LeBron James is not leaving a great legacy. His legacy has taken a hit and it's gone downhill because he continues to not carry himself and hold himself to those values that I'm always telling you guys about. He's not living like Ned Stark was living. The guy was dead in season 1, but they bring his name up over and over and over and over again throughout the show, guys. And they always mention honor. That's a legacy, guys, of being an honorable man, a fair and just man. You guys know the deal. These are the facts, man. I'll catch you guys on the next one.